And it's time for another Macro Monday, where I get you ready for the week ahead in 5 minutes or less. Just a reminder, this is just a small snippet of our full Macro Monday newsletter. So if you're looking for more in-depth coverage on the week ahead, I highly encourage you to check out the link I'm going to put in the description of this video. It will bring you right to our full edition of our newsletter. Okay, at last, we have some data. So I'm actually not going to spend a lot of time on our chart of the week. The government shutdown has ended. Unclear exactly how much data is going to come out, but as you'll see on the next slide, the calendar is full. Finally. One thing we'll see is the Conference Board's Leading Economic Index, or LEI. That is going to come out on Thursday, and that is our chart here. As we've noted, the LEI has had a poor track record this cycle and is overdue for a bit of a review. We actually wrote a whole report on how we would change the LEI. One easy way we modified the series was using the vacancy rate, which reflects the growing importance of job openings in place of consumer expectations, which have been unusually weak this cycle. And if you look at the chart with our improved LEI, that one quick change appears to have restored much of the usefulness that the LEI has as an anticipatory gauge of the economy. So again, this is the story of the week. We finally have some data to talk about, and that's what most of today, this Macro Monday, is going to be. It might take some time for the release of the official government data to normalize following the shutdown. That said, several interesting leading indicators are on deck this week that should offer some valuable insights. Monday brings the New York Fed's Empire Index, while Thursday delivers two more regional PMIs from the Philly Fed and the Kansas City Fed. Then on Tuesday, the NAHB Index will shed light on housing market trends. We're going to go a little bit more in depth. So the November Empire State Manufacturing Index arrives on Monday at 8:30 a.m., and its recent trend since March has been positive. Later in the week, we'll get the Philly Fed and Kansas City Fed manufacturing indices. The former weakened sharply last month, while the latter has been improving. Because regional PMIs can be noisy month to month, we view them as useful supplements to broader measures like the ISM Manufacturing Index. Within these reports, the subcomponents, such as prices paid, have often been more telling this cycle. This measure serves as a leading indicator of inflation and will reveal whether input costs are continuing to cool from their post-tariff highs. Employment-related components also bear watching, given increasingly bearish survey commentary on hiring and capex plans under the new global trade regime. And then housing remains one of the more compelling macro stories as the White House explores ways to tackle affordability to ease broader inflation concerns. Ideas floated last week included a 50-year mortgage and portable mortgage rates, both of which gained little traction. Despite a roughly 100 basis points decline in the 30-year rate since January, housing affordability remains at record lows. At the same time, the average age of a new home buyer has climbed to 40 years old, and consumer sentiment continues to erode. We expect housing data to remain soft in the near term. The NAHB Housing Market Index, due Tuesday at 10 a.m., carries a consensus estimate of 35. That is in line with its 3-year range. A modest decline in mortgage rates could spur some thawing, but without a sustained drop over the long term, housing sentiment likely stays subdued, in our opinion. So I'm going to leave you here today. Again, finally, we had some data to talk about. So I spent a lot of time more than normal on the calendar. Again, hope you enjoyed that conversation. I'm excited to actually dig into some data this week for the first time in a while. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great week. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed these videos, and I'll see you right back here next week for another Macro Monday.